People want them.
And Karen, how are you
And
doing?
they're selling for.
I'm good.
Bottom for because
How are you?
People want them in the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're not gonna. Cook them. 25 years of this.
That was nice to go over.
Yeah, I always love.
Oh, good.
Something I really want. Wait 2 weeks.
Beaches are,
Even with shipping, I'm getting my.
they're not. Well, Delta County wiped out,
Yeah.
so the beaches.
Well, yeah, but
Palisades.
usually on stuff
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
Right.
we got it.
Yeah.
Delta County got frozen out,
All right, but
literally.
I'm seeing it's 10 o'clock. Should we call the meeting to order? All right, so I would like to call this June 12th meeting of the Superior Historical Commission to order. As far as preliminary matters are concerned, I will pass off to JG for the roll.
Barry Dorsey,
Here.
Dalton Villette,
Here.
Karen Woligorsky. Here. Mary Cartwright,
Here,
Errol Woligorsky.
Here.
Scott Phillips,
Here.
Maureen Hogue,
Yeah.
Jill Roberts. Here. Susan Spanish. Here. Councilmember Craig Craft. Here.
Wonderful, thank you very much. And with that, we can move on to the approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll move to approve the agenda.
Motion by Karen.
Second.
Second by Scott. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, passes unanimously. And now we have open for public comment. Anyone in the room want to give public comment?
And no one online.
All right. And now we can move on to general updates and debriefing. So as far as updates are concerned, correspondences completed and required.
I did send a copy of the photos of the kitchen utensils to Mrs. Donaldson, just for her joy. Haven't heard back or anything. I don't know if I will. If anyone else has, because I know Dalton, you've accepted something. Whoever took the baby scale. Anyway, I need addresses and contacts on that. It would be helpful. Thank you.
Mary, for the baby scale, I'll text
Yes.
you, the photo of the nomination form that Larry sent me to get you the address.
Perfect.
And I actually have.
Yeah, I have the donation sheet here and also copies for you,
Okay,
so.
yeah, but I can email, since she's not here, I'll give it to her that way. I may have the other one from Dalton too, let me check, but I'll get those to
Okay.
you while we're talking.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect, thank you. Yeah, if you need like the contact information, this is for the embers that I believe we deaccessioned pretty quickly, yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. We were hoping for a diamond in the rough.
Yeah,
It goes in a notebook, I believe. Does this go in your notebook? It's the deaccession form or the donation agreement with.
Yeah, I actually need that real quick to send to Mary with the address, and then I'll give it to Karen for the notebook. Yep. And we've already got that in, catalog it.
perfect, on top of everything.
I know.
What did we do in session?
We thought they might be embers or something from the fire, what they were was yard bark.
Yeah.
Partially
Right.
just charred and it was disintegrating just as we moved it around between
I
us.
know what you mean, I just.
Yeah, we had hopes,
Yeah.
so.
So, it really does go to show, I think the ember that we do have, that's like
Mhm.
emphasizing how precious that is and how lucky we are with it. All right, I think the next item then, Marshall Fire Remembrance Subcommittee meeting. We had a meeting earlier this week, which was pretty brief, but also pretty productive, I would say. We got some updates from town staff about kind of the timeline of things right now. We are having a meeting with the Louisville City Council in July. This is going to be very similar to the meeting we had with the council, just going over the same PowerPoint that we've also seen to just the design of Louisville. Really just wanted to know what kind of this design was like, and we've had wonderful reception when working with the architect and the land developer on this, so we thought it'd be good for them to hear from them as well. I think we as committee members are largely just going to be in the audience and fielding any questions that might come up. And the next steps just kind of relate to identifying and coordinating with the nonprofits, so then we can actually start accepting some of these large donor gifts. And the plan would be to hopefully, fingers crossed and knock on wood, we can start potentially accepting larger donations, for the Marshall Fire Remembrance, probably at the tail end of this summer. And I do wanna, again, give a special shout out to the Lions Club and Jean for work with this. Yeah, it's looking like the Lions Club is gonna be the very first donor for this. So that's absolutely terrific. So we're excited to get things moving along there. JG, anything else you kind of wanted to add here?
So they will be doing geotech at the site, so, if you know where the big rings are? On McCaslin, the site is just to the west of that, so if you see a lot of machinery and things going on, that's part of what they're doing. It's part of the whole survey and geocheck for the project. The designers really can't do construction drawings until they know what they're working with there, so if you see a little action going on, that's what it's for. And then Leslie and I are meeting with Colorado Gives today, this afternoon. So we're not really sure who our parent nonprofit is gonna be for this, but we're still exploring. We have hopefully an upcoming meeting with Community Foundation, but we do have a meeting with Colorado Gives today. That's it.
Excellent. And this was also kind of a random tangent too, but we were discussing with kind of the location. I don't know if some of the other historical commission remembers, that specific location on that hill. There was a house that had been there. And I was asked, did we have any sort of insider knowledge about the house? And I was kind of unaware about any sort of specific history and just wanted to open it up. Did anyone know any history associated with the house? Okay. I said, if they do geotech, we find like old furniture or something in there, the historical commission wants it. And we staked our claim.
Where was this house going?
Right there.
It was right along Marshall Road. It was kind of like, it went into the hillside itself.
Oh,
So you just kind of saw the front, yeah, right on McCaslin. It was there for quite a number of years. Yeah.
Oh, it's for some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost like a nugget, an old time nugget.
Yeah, there was people living in there when we moved in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, there used to be
I don't think we don't.
was it visible from the parking lot?
Oh, yeah, I remember cars being
Oh.
parked
That was
there.
great, it's across there.
Cause I've got a lot of pictures at the park and ride, the original park and
No, no,
ride.
this
Well, if
is
anybody has photos of that, it would be.
Yeah.
Going up to
South
Joslin.
McCaslin. South McCaslin, right as you're coming up the hill, Marshall.
So just below
Oh,
the trailhead now.
Yeah. Yeah, it was such an unusual kind of feature, but I was like, I didn't know any history and I didn't know if anyone else here was aware of any with that. All right, I think then we can move on to RFI log and mass media list.
Does anybody have any inputs? I haven't seen any requests on the general history website.
Nothing for me.
Nothing to add.
And we never had media coverage on the spring program.
No.
No.
We should have brought them in. That was a very good program.
Yeah,
Non-existent.
okay. Thank you very much. Next we can move on to volunteers. Any sort of additional updates there? I know I can try to reach out to Nancy Thomas and see if she's interested in helping out, with the fourth and some of the activities there.
Could I have Jane's contact? I think as far as we
Oh.
know, she's not doing, she's done helping us.
Yeah, I can
But-
send that over to you, Mary.
Yeah, and then I'd like to thank her for, for what she's done. Thank you.
Yep, I'll send it over your way, Mary, and I'll reach out to Nancy just to inquire about her availability on the board.
Good.
And next we have Donors Line Club and recent donations. Anything
I
here?
have a question on the recent donations. Did we end up taking that soapbox? Do we actually
Okay,
get
yes,
possession of it?
I'm meeting with Erica Winter, probably next week to accept it. Yeah.
Very
It's,
good.
for those of you who don't know, we did have one from that company that was burned in the fire. I think, Larry, do you remember, was the company in Broomfield or something? It was a local company, basically, that made
I
this
can't
lovely
remember now,
soap.
Mary. But it was a local or regional company, huh?
You said it was a soapbox?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
laundry soap.
I had soap flakes, you know, for your
Do we
laundry.
need not a step sign for it?
Pardon?
Do we need a not a step sign for it?
Not a step.
Not a step, yeah.
It will go nicely on our, it will display nicely on our new pegboard right near the washing machine.
And this, I haven't brought this in yet. I don't think we can even classify this as a donation, but I might be jumping ahead a little bit here when it comes to the cemetery, but Scott and I were at the cemetery and we're just cleaning up kind of some different items. We saw like some bottles and broken glass and whatnot. And amidst all this, Scott was able to identify what looked like a little bronze plaque that had likely been on a headstone and had potentially fallen off.
Well, it probably wasn't actually on a headstone. It's probably like one of those markers between a grave being, between a funeral for a grave and before the headstone was in, where they probably had a little plaque on about this size with a paper or cardboard insert with the name. But we need to research and confirm that's what they did. If it is that, it does appear to be that, then it might be something we can have in our collection.
Anything on the plaque?
No, it's not really a plaque. It's just, it was a metal holder, for like a card or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it probably was bronze at one point. I was rusty.
You have a picture we could Google on it?
I know a picture, it's at my house right now, so I need to drop it off at the museum.
Yeah, just
so-
send you a picture.
Yeah.
We need to research it too and
Yeah.
make sure it's not just some other random trash.
Yeah, but it was so surprising because we were collecting a lot of trash and then saw this and I was like, okay, this might actually be interesting to have, so. We don't need to thank a donor at least for this.
So when you said were there bottles in the cemetery?
Well, like a Capri Sun packet that looked like it had been there several years, yeah.
Oh, like maybe it blew in?
Yeah,
Okay.
No, there's something worse than that. We can wait till we get to the cemetery topic though, on that.
Okay.
topic.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that is kind of a quote unquote donation that I'll fill out a form for and drop off.
We don't even need a form. We just
Okay.
need a picture and we do how it was acquired.
Perfect.
So
Yeah,
it's
from the cemetery.
found in
Found in
collection
collection,
and
yeah.
category officially. So,
Yeah. I don't know, it's like it's very rare to kind of find an object at one of our historical sites. All right, so next,
Does Jean have any, for Lions Club, do you have any?
No, nothing updated, no.
yeah,
I've been working with you on the remembrance.
yep. And next is collection management.
Did we cover the donation of the scale in? Does somebody wanna talk about what happened with that, cause I was busy talking to people. Did we decide to?
we did accept it. Mhm. We did, and Mary's got the stuff to do the thank you note.
Okay,
And Carol and David were lovely.
Mhm.
He had some enjoyable stories about his family, but not really related to the scale to really add to that. Unless something came up after, because I left partway through his visit.
Thinking.
It does work. We put some of the, pieces from the stove on it and weighed them, so.
Yeah, his wife has some interesting stories too.
And I
about
didn't talk with her.
where she grew up there in Chicago on the Polish part down there.
Oh, yeah.
I know. It was not nice.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
I
fascinating.
said the form is where.
The form, I have a copy to put on catalog it. Karen has the original and I've sent a copy to Mary, to do the thank you note. So,
Actually, Larry, you got it to work, didn't you? Did what? You got it to work, didn't you, the scale? Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Were you there when we were putting the stove pieces
I
on?
know,
Oh, okay, so you did it again, so it
Yeah.
worked twice. No, it wasn't just beginner's luck for me.
interesting side light on that is, she also offered a vinyl train set and, which we declined, but I was able to get her connected with a vinyl train collector. And they worked out a deal, so they got a home, she was very happy about that. Cause she, in our communication, talked about how she and her dad would go to the hobby shop and buy a new car for the train set, so she had some sentimental connection with it, of course, and, so she's happy it's got a good new home.
That's fantastic. All right, well, next, collection management.
We took the month off since the last meeting.
Well deserved,
Took
yeah.
a month off. I went to Italy. I love those guys. If you did something, I'm not involved.
We can spend the next 2 hours just talking about Italy.
Yeah.
We can spend 2 hours on the food, then we can get to the
Yeah.
rest.
Okay.
2 hours on the food, 2 hours on the wine, 2 hours on all the historical spots there.
I did send a picture from Pompeii to a couple folks. They have this section that was one of the storefronts.
Mhm.
And they've got this metal grate in front of it and they've just got bins and metal cartons and things randomly stuck in there. That's how they store their collection until they decide if it's gonna go to a generic storage to be preserved at the museum in Naples or disposed of. And
Wow.
it's just randomly out there in the elements. It's been there in the elements for
Yeah.
2,000 years. I was like, really? So that was a fun historical moment.
Wow.
Yeah. Just out in the elements.
Wow. Incredible. All right, so then History Colorado affiliates.
So I did go to this month's webinar and it was on cataloging systems. And they gave some overviews of how to choose, how to get started.
So it was on what?
Cataloging systems.
Oh.
There are about 5 to 6 out in the market and they don't use any of those. What they use is far more advanced. They said, this is what we know of, what we know about them, how they're tiered, different things. Yeah, how to ramp it up, what the minimum things to put in are. And I basically was like, man, we didn't know what we were doing and we hit everything they said. From your choosing it, right, to our doing the 50 items and what we decided was mandatory to put in there, the way we're doing the forms and the photos, I was like, that way, so.
You're all.
Yeah,
Wow, good
yeah,
job.
so good job, team. And obviously when I get the notes, I'll put them in the shared drive again. I've been doing that each month, but, and they had a bunch of people said, past perfect, well, it's great in theory, is clunky. It's hard to use, you have to be very technology savvy. And we did do a bunch of exchanges of if you have questions. So we could end up with a phone call because we couldn't get an answer on things. We were trying to navigate it.
Did it say anything specifically about cataloging?
They listed catalog it. They talked most common were past perfect and catalog it. And well, there were things they really liked about catalog it. They kept saying it's clunky and hard to use. And you have to,
Catalog it is?
not catalog it, past perfect. Yeah, sorry, I said that backwards.
Yeah.
They said catalog it may not do a few of these things, but depending on your size, you probably don't need them.
I think the bigger, really, really big museums use past perfect because of
They
the
actually use
capabilities.
a
I
different,
saw. A different one?
that's
Wow.
like the History Colorado's. I think some of the larger localized museums may. But they still were calling it clunky. They're like, you get a person who can use it, but you can't just have a volunteer jump in and do things and. I mean, we self-taught in an hour, which is a huge plus for catalog. Yeah,
Plus that ability to do things from your phone.
well, and all 3 of us being able to do things on one item at the same time. Yeah, has been really easy, so.
So the membership, affiliate membership
The dollar.
expired, but I renewed for that $1. And I had to charge it to my town credit card. And I had to submit the receipt.
And you know-
and everything, and I was just like, oh my God.
And
I'm sure the finance department
Every
is
one
gonna
of
go.
these webinars I go to, I have a $10 off because of our member number. So we've made a profit of $119. Because if I went to 10, 12, I went to 12, but $10 a month, $120, and it costs us $1, so.
Wow,
That's a really good deal.
That's a really good deal.
best dollar spent.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And non $10, because Jill goes for no $10.
Yeah, $0.
Minus 10.
Yeah, sale.
All right, so next, digital screens. I believe this is related to like the Marshall Fire, screens from the Lions Club. I've been working away on some items there. I did have kind of something of a breakthrough because I was dealing with the technology on the screens themselves. And then I kind of felt like silly when all of a sudden I realized this. I'm able to actually just upload like PowerPoints and everything just straight to it.
Oh.
I don't need to just like go through all this like copy and pasting processes, and I was like, oh, what? This is amazing. So I was able, I just brought them back to museums and I'm like, okay, I can just like work away. I don't need to use the physical screens themselves for kind of processes. Obviously, the screens are gonna be great because they're touch screens, so you can move things along, but I was just like, oh, yes. So it makes, I think, for future use, as we expand and use them, really beneficial. We're like, okay, we can actually just start, even if we wanted to like show photos of documents, we can just upload the JPEGs and whatnot and just immediately go through there. So it makes the process a lot easier than I was initially a little concerned with as far as like the technology that was installed in it. Yeah.
Well, great on the breakthrough. Walter.
Is it actually more like a small monitor?
Basically, yeah, as soon as I was able to kind of find this, I was like, okay, this is kind of a relief, so I was happy with that. And I do think, yeah, we can start probably working to get those maybe installed soon. And then I was thinking if we could have something maybe tied in with the 5-year, I think that would be really good.
Well, and so I have the video, so
Yeah.
I'll share that with you this weekend.
Perfect,
The
yeah.
Marshall Fire video
Mhm.
for just the museum.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be great. All right,
And is there sound that comes out of the monitor?
yeah, there was sound, I heard it coming
Okay.
out, yeah.
Little speaker then.
That's
Yeah,
a
the sound
huge,
seemed,
huge update.
yeah, the sound seemed to be all right when it was coming out. For me, I didn't have to crank it up like 100 or anything. I worried if I did, maybe my ears would start to hurt, but. All right, so I think we can now move on to debriefing. So the first item then is the May 18th Boulder Heritage Roundtable Award Ceremony at Chautauqua's Community House.
Did you update that last month or is?
No, this
Okay,
has been
okay.
since last month.
Yeah,
Just
because we had like, the meeting was like right before, yeah,
Yeah, it was the week before.
Yeah,
yeah,
That's when you were gone.
yeah,
yeah.
just double checking.
But I thought it all went very well. It was wonderful being able to be there and attend. Thank you so much, Heather, for also showing up. It was wonderful. Being with Sergeant Solomon as well and having him nominate our work. I thought the ceremony was very well done and seeing all these awardees.
Do we
was
have a
terrific.
copy of the nomination?
Yes, so it is over at ASTI, or I dropped it off. I didn't know, Larry, if you had wanted to make a copy of anything for your personal records, but I dropped it off at
Okay.
ASTI.
Cause we've talked about putting things like that real time and to catalog it, like we have the pictures from the cemetery and.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And the different things, so I was gonna put the pictures that were sent out, but I wanted to do the nomination form. So,
Yeah,
Absolutely. That was good turnout from the commission.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, look good.
And I love that group picture of y'all. So,
And,
mhm.
the certificate, we had a little communication problem with somebody, the certificate's gonna be redone to have the town of Superior on it.
and
Historic
where are we
Commission.
putting that?
Hmm?
Where are we putting that?
I don't know, we haven't got it yet.
Well, when we get it.
What do you think? Should we
I'd like to
put it on the wall?
if we don't put it publicly, I at least want to put it on our wall of fame that I've started in the basement at Ashby.
That's item 4A,
Oh.
minute 2.
Oh, well, good.
Well,
I think it could be, but couldn't it be by the Biden letter?
Yeah, it's not too big.
Yes.
So my wall of
It's just
fame
gonna
is
be
different than this wall
Yeah.
of fame.
Which-
My wall of fame is different than this wall of
Oh,
fame.
okay.
I'm gonna bid you all adieu. Have a great, great weekend.
Oh.
Bye, Mary.
Bye.
I'll Good figure seeing bye-bye.
So my wall of fame is different. Above the computer on that blank wall,
Mhm.
as I've come across things like we have the sketch of the old Asti house, we have the extra picture of Willie, we had some pictures of Denzel and Bob. So I've started.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Jill's Wall of Fame.
No, Jill's not featured on it.
It's like a commission.
Yeah, a commission wall
Wall
of,
of fame.
it's not a wall of shame,
Oh,
so, it's a wall of fame.
Um,
So if it's going to there, that's great, but if not, at a minimum.
I think it's public recognition.
Yeah, I do too, for at least a time period, but if there's no place to put it until we get that,
Yeah,
versus sticking it in the file,
yeah, absolutely.
so, okay.
this might be for JG or Heather, but you think you'd wanna put it up in the community center or the town,
Town
order
hall.
in the town hall?
Oh,
yeah.
more people.
We can make
There's
another
not a lot of
copy.
wall space at town hall, that's the only
Yeah.
issue.
I mean, you could put it in the display case out here by the bathrooms at the bottom, you know, where there's a few items, just for, yeah, for a few months and then know, okay, in
We can,
October, let's go.
we'll be able to make copies of it
Sure.
real easily.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, make copies of it and then put the original in the museum. That's
That's a
my
good
thought.
idea.
yeah, that's good.
I like that.
Yeah, we could actually,
Go with the model that.
I was gonna say, put it up,
With the model of the
Oh.
Minecraft house.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
yeah, or I was gonna say, put it up with the ember and the keys
Mhm.
and those
Because
things.
it's fire with it.
The letter.
Mhm.
It could even be a photo that's on
I
the
was just thinking that
monitor.
you could
Yeah.
scan it and put it.
As
on the
well,
monitor
yeah.
too, yeah.
So many things.
Yeah. We're gonna put it all.
Well, on a banner, we can hire a plane.
Hang it in the booth out next year, we'll have a mural made out of wood.
Yeah.
For bus stop.
Oh.
All right, but any other kind of details or thoughts as it relates to the roundtable awards here?
Well, it gives the feedback to them too, that you were impressed with the program itself. So
Yeah, it was good, that's great.
Yeah.
it came out real well.
Couldn't agree with you more. And now there's so many other historical houses I want to go to there as well. They showed presentations and photos of, like, I need to make time to visit some of these.
And books to read.
And books to read, yeah. All right, so next we have the Cemetery and Veterans Group. They place some of the civil flags in front of Civil War graves, including the newest individual who is identified by the Veterans Group as being a Civil War veteran. So I think that was I believe a first that we had the 3 flags out there too. Wally, any other details?
Just one of the vets up in there now is a Confederate, which is neither here nor there. It's just the way it is. No, it went pretty smooth and went pretty fast. So it was, I think we should get something and I don't know what we get. It shouldn't be expensive to put at the gravesite where you don't have to push your flag into the ground. You put it in a holder and have those there permanent.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Are the flags still there?
I have no idea. We
They
had
were
some-
when Scott and I were up there at least.
On the 6th, it would be easy to find some kind of pipe that wouldn't have to go too far in the ground. You can always just plug it in. It doesn't look too hokey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can you have the fellow email to me who this other veteran is, because I don't know who it is. I'd like to know.
And we would need to add it to the
What was
website.
the third,
And it's information sheet.
what was the third Civil War's vet's name?
I have it.
Yeah, we have it.
Do you have it?
Yeah, they sent me photos.
Yeah, we,
Oh, okay.
So I could dig them up while we're talking.
Yeah,
Let's see. But I think it
I'll
would
have
be
to sit there and
good
think about
to
it.
get that research, so we can add it to the cemetery
Info sheet,
information, yeah.
Definitely.
Now, I have a question for Scott, and I know I've already asked you this twice, and I forgot both times. You said you had the name of somebody that you thought could be
No, I
it.
think we're talking about the same one,
Oh,
and they
okay.
just gave me the wrong page.
Oh, okay. Well, because I was gonna say I'd had John, from the Veterans Group do some research, to see if he's from Civil War, First World War, or whatever.
Well, it was their research anyway when they were there, and I just took a photo of their page, but I think they showed me the wrong page.
Oh, okay. So that's pretty well taken care of then for
I
now?
think so, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, this one, the one they found was on the original list. It's just that we didn't know he was available.
Yeah, that's.
He's over on the left-hand side.
Right, yeah, the headstones there and
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
there was just the discovery that he was a
Right.
Civil War vet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So did that make a fourth, or is that part of the three?
that's part of the
three.
cemetery.
And then is the veterans group or anyone else doing more research on identifying potentially other veterans, you know, Wally?
I'll ask John. I think John is John Kennedy. I think he is, but, he was out of state for quite a while, so
Okay,
I'll ask him at our next meeting.
yeah,
The only other thing I can add to that is the one meeting I had with the vets group, they were asking about, historic archives and records for the cemetery through Boulder County, because in 1976, when cemetery became Town Superior's cemetery, there was that transition, but there's a lot of notes about a volunteer. I did that research. Her name was Barbara something. She just on her own did a lot of research on a lot of cemeteries, ours included. And she always notated burial certificates. And so I inquired after meeting with the vets and them wanting potentially more help or support. I did get with Boulder County Preservation, like multiple angles to see if I could get someone or something or someplace to look deeper into. And sort of had to explain that it was the Louisville Cemetery, it was this, it was that, like. And there just honestly, long story short, there just really isn't a lot out there, except for like ledgers. And so I was hoping that there was gonna be this big breakthrough
yeah.
of information for burial certificates. But I just kind of hit a dead end, but I'm not gonna give up, so I'm trying to keep looking, cause I know they're kind of on a mission to
Mhm.
discover. So Wally, I'll keep you posted in your group and obviously this group too.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah, it just showcases, I don't know how many people, I mean, even a couple weeks ago, there were very few of us who were even aware that there were Union and Confederate soldiers right in our backyard. So like that just adds to some very fascinating history. All right, and next item is the June 6th Open Museums and Cemetery. How was everything at museums on that hot Saturday?
Pretty quiet, Asti.
Yeah, we had the bubble when the scale was there.
Yeah, and then those two people came in right at the end there.
We had what, maybe 6?
Yeah.
for the day?
It's not, yeah.
I think we had 8 at Grasso. I wrote it down, so.
Also breaking into the bowl.
Liam's doing something.
Yeah, it was kind of quiet around here around Asti until that couple came in with the scale, and then I got to talk to his wife there a little bit, which had nothing to do with the scale, and that was really, that was interesting. I talked to her quite a while.
Didn't we just have one visitor besides the donor? You and I.
Yeah,
There was
You guys had one in the
gal
morning?
in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Her,
I'm trying to remember
Person,
anybody in the.
and then we had our gal who we visited with for an hour.
Oh, her, yeah.
she might have still been in there when we came in, wasn't she?
I think she
Yeah,
was.
Yeah,
yeah,
it was just leaving.
there, yeah,
And
we had a
then
very interesting
I count-
conversation with her.
I counted Taya because she hadn't been there for 10 years, so.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
We had good attend, well, reasonably good attendance, but good, I think people feel good about coming to our museum.
Oh, yes, they're very interested.
Yeah, they enjoy seeing what we have and asking questions and learning more stuff, and that's, I think, our goal.
Both,
Good for us.
yeah, and both Dave and we're gonna call her New York. I don't, I don't remember her name. Yeah. But they asked questions and I said about the collections and I said, yeah, we're looking at growing it. One of our town council members suggested doing, rotating exhibits and this is the type of thing we're thinking about and they were very interested in that. So said I would be looking for that in 2027.
Yeah.
We need to get our handle on what we have to start doing it, so. Have it grouped so it's easy to put together and comprehensive, but they did like that idea. So, that was Neil's suggestion, if you want to pass along that we're starting to build for it.
How about the cemetery?
Yeah, the cemetery was pretty quiet. There was only around, I think, 3 people who showed.
Four total, including Leslie Clark, that stopped by to take a photo. Older.
Elsie.
That's right, Leslie came to grass out too.
Elsie.
I will never have that competition with you again.
But I do think, just because when Scott and I were up there, 11 to 1 on that day, we realized pretty quickly, you bake very fast up there.
Right, there's no shade.
But there is no shade or anything, up there. And especially when it was 91 degrees out,
Yeah.
we were like, there was no one even at the nearby dog park. I was like, okay, this is one of those days. It was just so hot.
Yeah.
So we did float the idea of potentially during the summer months, maybe if we wanted to, having the cemetery be open in the earlier hours.
Yeah,
or maybe
first
close
thing in the morning.
10 to
Yeah.
12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
9 to 11.
Noon
We
to
borrow a town pop-up for that too, though.
Yeah, or there's some sort of shade available
Or
too.
umbrella.
Yeah.
Will loan you that, because it's just easy to carry and it literally goes up and down like an umbrella, but you can sit in a camp chair
Yeah,
and not,
fake, yeah.
yes, so,
That would probably be easier.
yeah, then a pop-up.
I could also bring my patio umbrella up.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I can have some umbrellas. I didn't even think about that.
Because it's a 3/4, I'll loan it to you.
Yeah.
You can have it.
Now, you guys might wanna consider starting taking a chair up there with you if you can, so at least you can sit in underneath the umbrella when there's nobody there.
Yeah.
The stone benches have been okay for what we've done up there. It's mainly the shade. Shade's been
Okay,
bad.
okay, yeah, you can put that in around the stone benches.
Yeah.
I forgot about those.
Yeah,
So while we were up there, we also took the opportunity, the lulls in the crowd to do a little policing of the grounds and clean up the random blown in trash. There is not really a lot of trash there. The bigger problems is the broken glass around, and there are only, as far as trash bottles, there were only ever a couple of those, and I actually cleaned up most of that near the fence last time I was there. New glass was in there. The problem glass is where people have put like bouquets at the headstones and taken like random jars and inserted them in the ground. And so those will get caught up in the mower and this.
Oh.
So I think we're going to need for the gate, no glass allowed, no glass allowed sign and not have glass in there.
Well, that's good, they can put plastic or something, of course, they still have to pick
Even
glass.
ceramic vases would be better, but, and so we did policing grounds, we did find that one metal thing that looked like it was probably cemetery related. We only picked up normal trash and clear glass. There are other older, like purple glass fragments here and there, and there's some random ceramics, and we left all those there, they're not really problematic. It's mainly where like jars or whatever, they're holding flowers, clear glass jars got shattered and moved around by the mower, but mowers and glass containers do not go away.
Yeah. Now, there isn't any signs of prairie dogs in there, is there?
No, but the third item is the prairie dog, the sheet metal around the fencing. Fasteners are starting to come off between the sheets, and that really needs to be fixed. In a couple of places, there are gaps big enough that prairie dogs or rabbits could get in.
Yeah, I'm sure that wind just,
It'd be a rabbit scurry through, so.
I'm sure the wind plays a role in that, moving that stuff off.
Do we have anything else? I think that's the cemetery report.
Just be potentially careful, did notice along one of the fences, have no idea if it was blown in or whatnot, but it did look like a pretty clear, rattlesnake skin that had been shed, so. Yeah. At least people aren't usually walking like right along the fence itself, but did notice that.
It's that time of year.
Yeah, it was too hot for the snakes to be out when we were there.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea how long they've been there too.
Real quick back on Asti. Do we have the bug traps that you got? Work great,
Oh, good.
but I need to replace them next month. So are there more in the basement or do we need to order more?
I think I left them in the basement.
I put them,
Those
well, there was
little
a stack,
triangle?
yeah, I put them out in each room upstairs and 3 or 4 downstairs, so I think I might have used up the packet, but they did work very well.
Okay,
So we needed,
I'll have to check.
if,
I can't remember if I left all the extras
well, I think I
on
might
there.
have put out, what was sitting out on the map case, I put out.
Okay, that
So
was
if there's
there.
not more, we need more because
But you like those triangle kind?
they worked. I mean, I checked it, Susan, I don't know if you were standing there when I checked it, but each one had mostly little fruit fly things.
Yeah.
Some flies and a couple little spiders, so they had, each thing had 5 or 10 little bugs in it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
so they're
order a
catching
bunch.
stuff.
That's
Okay.
good.
Yeah, and I put one by each door. So. But we
I
do
will
need
get
more.
you loads of them.
Yes, that's a bug lady.
All the bunches.
Yeah, the snake skin made me think of that. Yeah.
I'd much rather a snake skin at the cemetery than in like grass over it.
Well, yeah, and it'd much rather be a skin than a snake.
Yeah.
Likely to have in the grass.
Yeah. All right, so next then, part source framing status, so we did get an exact quote on what the frame is going to be. Yeah, already paid for, so we are all good to go there, I think right now it's kind of just waiting. I think she had said, hopefully we could get this potentially by the end of August. Yeah, she said around 8 weeks, so, let's see.
It's gonna be really exciting.
Yeah, that would be something.
And so we did pay for delivery and installation,
Yeah,
so a little extra for that, so we will not be installing it ourselves.
and that's kind of a relief because, I mean, looking at, when we laid it out at Art Source, obviously we're aware of how big the German map is, but it's gonna be considerably larger just because of one, the matting behind it, and then the frame itself, and it's gonna be so large, they want to have, it was called like a Z frame in the back, so they're gonna drill into the wall at ASTI to get this in place, and then we'll basically be able to slide it into these brackets. So then it's not going anywhere. But it should be, I think, truly a really, really beautiful piece. And I was telling Mary too, and I think JG, I might have mentioned it as well, like we should definitely maybe have Isaac or someone take photos or film while it's actually being installed, because that'll be really cool to see.
And then another thought was to have a little placard next to it, just explaining what it is, but then a notation that who the framing was from and that there was a considerable donation
Yeah,
And the donor
towards
too.
it.
yeah.
And the yeah, they would have all that, but I think we could give them a little shout out for that
Oh, yeah.
massive discount that we got.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, so I see on here is $2,400 plus, that's down payment or is that the?
I think that's just out of the, we'll touch on that when we
Okay.
talk budget.
Okay,
But I think that's it with Art Source framing, Heritage Roundtable and Ant Brand.
yeah, Heritage Roundtable always takes June off after the May event, so nothing new there.
Yeah, Friends Monday,
Oh, okay.
so, I think I've got the car if anyone wants to go. Not biking, no. And then.
One on the seat, one on the handlebars.
I'll use the old chariot trailer.
Well, I know I've got.
And then our work session next Friday, we're moving here to plan for August's,
Yeah,
where we're hosting. Do we have town hall confirmed for August? Okay, I'm gonna reach out to Clint then. I just wanted to make sure everything was good to go.
But we always,
Leslie told me Clint will do it.
we always know that town hall is never 100%.
You know, worst case, we go to picnic benches outside of Grafton. I mean,
Yep.
it is what it is, right? And buy a case of cold water, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we'll make it work.
Does it have to be water?
Here.
Never mind.
So yeah, so I think we're in good shape. Once again, we're meeting this time before we meet, go there.
perfect. All right, so next is the preservation plan work group. So Scott and I have been working away on kind of creating a framework for preservation plan. We had our most recent meeting with JG. We brought in just kind of giving her an update on kind of this plan outline that we had crafted. This was kind of designed in large part after reviewing some of the other municipalities around us and their respective preservation plans and seeing what we liked, what we didn't like, how we wanted to incorporate elements from others into this moving forward. And now basically the next step was just detailing this kind of general outline to everyone here. And then potentially reaching out to a consultant who can actually begin the overall, first identifying a consultant to work with. And then actually start the writing process for this in earnest. Scott, JG, any other additional comments with us?
I
Yeah,
have the outline up here if anybody wants to see it.
yeah, so basically this is building off our previous tiered approach where we're looking at big picture and narrowing it all the way down to property or museum collection level with some of the considerations for, you know, what we have in the town, what the town owns versus public historic property or private historic properties. Consideration for everything from interpretive materials that are out there, not just historic properties that are out there, like our interpretive signs that show up, including at Alton Park, where we don't have historic things other than maybe a ditch at, at Autry Park, but we do have interpretive signs that are providing that history, and that's part of our historic program. And so basically then, Dalton put together a list of other community, historic preservation plans. Everyone has one, we don't. But that's part of the point of this, we will. And, so the most appropriate communities were Erie's, which is one of the longer ones where they include a lot of historic background in theirs that to me is not part of the planning. It gives context to the planning and you can attach it if you feel we need it. Lafayette's had more of an outline structure, just even looking at their table of contents provides a good outline of focusing in what's your vision for the plan, what does the plan do, and then elements of the plan, like if you have like town properties, we need to look at preserving the cemetery or Grasso versus a museum program. That type of thing can be incorporated into a plan. And we're just I had suggested Lafayette plan just to look at the table of contents as an outline. We don't include Louisville's because there's just more of like a PowerPoint rather than a plan. They have objectives bulleted. That's the way it seemed, right?
Yeah.
So, but so as Dalton was saying, the next step is to continue to coordinate with JG on how this would interlock with or interconnect with a broader arts and cultural plan,
Arts and history.
arts and history plan. Yeah.
Master plan.
And work under that and then use these elements we've identified to work with the commission to say, yes, these are some of the elements we want touched upon, and then go out and try to either incorporate this into an RFP or get some early contact for some price range from some potential consultants that would do this thing. And so we're also working on that. consultant type,
And then to add to that, I had to submit kind of first round staff recommendation for budget for 2027, and per the agenda item on for your council dinner, there was that discussion that we wanted to request funding for said consultant. But because that dinner was so long ago, I did recommend to Dalton and Scott that perhaps a letter or a note to council when we get in kind of the height of budget season to put it back on radar. And to sort of explain how much work has been put into this and how it would feed into that greater, bigger master plan in the future. And I think I personally really love this approach because I feel like that master plan for both arts and history will need expertise for every chapter or whatever section. And this is really getting the ball rolling on that. So I think it's really great.
so our intent for the next commission meeting is to definitely make sure you have the outline notes available, which includes the links to, I think that version includes the links to the other communities' local planning documents, historic preservation planning documents surrounding us, and then have that draft to the council ready again for the commission to consider and review, and by August be able to, before is that the budget planning season for council, that basically has something to back to the council. August
What would be a good time for council to start because I think it'll be important for council to see this outline too.
Right.
Oh, we want to clean it up a bit.
Yeah,
like
eventually.
the next meeting.
But just so they, that this isn't just a small project on behalf of the historic commissioner, this is really going to be a townwide.
Yeah, it's the number one thing on my budget list,
Okay.
so,
That's fine.
I'm trying to represent, but let's see we just got back into our meeting schedule, cause we had a few off too, so I'll know more in the next couple, probably by the end of the summer at the latest, but we talked about it a little bit at the last council meeting, but I know those meetings are upcoming, so.
Would it be
Yeah, I'll keep you guys in the
helpful
loop.
with this? I mean, we can
Yeah.
obviously work on the outline and clean it up a little bit, having kind of like a one-page like summary or kind of a pitch at the beginning. Yeah, do you think that'd be good to have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Reminder of objective and purpose.
Yeah.
That, and that there was a budget request put in,
Yeah.
recommendation from both historic and that staff submitted. Because we know those budget sheets sometimes get altered or changed before they get to council, and I'm hoping, just wanna make sure that amount travels, stays with.
She'd like to make a comment.
Yeah.
Okay, Jill, what's the date?
For
of
the
that ad?
presentation
August
outline, I would like to point out that the walking tour I drafted last fall does list the major historic sites. I need to firm it up, and then I need to work with the comms department for good graphics. I mentioned this to Dalton. For example, when we announced the museum open house, comms sometimes puts a map there to show how to get from Mass to Grasso. But when we mention the cemeteries open, there's no map. So how do people know how to get there relative to the museums? The walking tour would use town hall as the starting point, and that way you can go in either direction, either to the parks with the museum or to the cemetery. You can't really get to the cemetery on a straight line, but if you use town hall, you can get there fairly easily. You wouldn't really be able to go from, say, Grasso over to the cemetery, just wouldn't work. So the walking tour does have that list it just needs to be fine tuned. One other thing. You mentioned the Archery Park and signage. Larry said the signage that was put up back in 2012 survived the fire. So I know what's up there. My family dedicated that. It will be 15 years on Arbor Day in April when we dedicated it. So we need to pull it together. That area isn't necessarily historic. It was basically the archery ranch. And the plaque at the dedication site is where we thought the original house stood. But it was torn down during the Rock Creek development before anybody made note of the location. So the archery park is slightly different. I would recommend a work session to take the commission out there and walk it. Back in 2012, it was very nicely done. There's even a marker in memory of the miner who died at the Monarch mine, and a plaque dedicated to the Barr family whose farm was out that way. And then a summary of William Hake and how he settled and founded the area.
Yeah, those are all really good, and I like those details, definitely being able to incorporate the elements from the walking tour into the preservation plan and utilizing the old maps or seeing how we can update those potentially to include details with the cemetery, maybe even a walking path if people are in a hiking mood to put out there, definitely doable.
Well, and it actually could feed into that whole idea of wayfinding or, you know, markations or, but accessibility could maybe just be on the, in the outline to sort of talk about maps and walking tours, and there could be sub bullets to that.
We have educational
Yeah.
items listed on there. Public involvement and outreach is a big part of putting together a plan like this to get their input on what the public would like to see in that. But to Maureen's point, right now, we rely on both Google Maps and iPhone Maps. They do know where the cemetery's at, and you can find it and navigate over there. But I would like to have, if that walking tour map does have a link on the town website now, I'd like a QR or QRL code for that to have available at the museums, because I wasn't aware we had that. And so when people are there, I'd like to just like them to be able to pull it up on their phone through a QRL code at the museum.
And I know that's a topic for discussion, so maybe Maureen can tell us the status of that when we get to that agenda item of her walking
I mean,
tour.
even if it's a draft map and we say that presented, I would, you know, we don't have to have it perfect for if people test it, right? We can have feedback.
Absolutely.
A map of going from where to where.
Around the historic properties in town that Maureen has assembled. She has a route assembled. I know people like, I remember people described walking it. We haven't seen it yet or don't remember it, at least.
Little point of clarification on the monuments for the fatalities in the Monarch mine. It's technically in a Broomfield Park. Someplace between Autry and that street that parallels Flatiron Crossing. There's a line between Broomfield and Superior. So it's really applies to, or it really seems to be more incorporated into Superior than Broomfield, because I don't think most people Broomfield know about it. So anyhow, take a field trip there some days. Quarter mile, half a mile at the most to Autry Park.
That'd be good.
And we did that Autry Park sign too. We emphasized that it was in the area, this Autry farm was in this area, cause we didn't have a precise location on it.
Right, it's just nice that when you park there, there are historic signs explaining the property and its history. But there's 2 or 3 of them there.
Yeah, I think we have about 12 of those signs around.
All right, I think then we can move on to the work plan check-in, and as far as the discussion items go, final planning for the booth and fire truck, Nick's parade, for the 4th of July celebrations, and celebrating America's 250th exposition.
I'll jump in, so just in working with the events team, the historic commission tent will be roughly where it always is. Truck will be right next to it, and then arts and history is gonna have a tent next to that. So my tent is gonna be a, America 250 exhibit. And that's focused on the Declaration of Independence. And then, we will have extra volunteers to help with my tent, your tent, and fire truck coverage. We'll stanchion off the fire truck just like we did last time. We'll have signs. I made a really nice poster, information poster, a new one for the truck it's a kind of a timeline about like when it was created and all of it, the restoration and just the flamettes and everything. So it's all on there. So I should be getting that soon.
Great.
I ordered a bazillion American flags and then a handful of these cute guys. Yeah, for handing out. And I'll bring it up in just a second, but Larry had requested, Superior 130, or even better, America 250, Colorado 150, Superior 130 stickers to hand out. And so I worked with comms and we created one and it's beautiful and I ordered 5,000. Because
Wow.
events got so excited about it, so we're gonna have you hand them out in the historic tent, just Larry. No one else.
My
So
legacy.
they'll be in the historic commission tent, arts and history tent, and then we'll put some at both info booths.
Perfect.
So that way everyone will have these cute little stickers.
Yeah.
So that'll be lots of fun.
Good job.
Thank you, Larry, for that great suggestion.
Not completely atrophied.
The only other thing I wanted to mention is that, I am gonna be working with Matt Rarick, to just fire up the truck, get it going, make sure the gas is, we might just gas, oil, all that stuff, take it for a whirl. Matt is gonna be out of town on the 4th. So he will not be driving it over, so I was gonna ping you to be my co-pilot, cause I need to drive it again, it's been a while. But we wanna get it over to the park on the 3rd, the day before.
Oh.
And we will have it under a tent. And there will be security. So the other part of that is anything that we wanna have on display. In the historic commission tent, it would be much easier if it's brought over on the 3rd. Instead of trying to
Good idea.
fight the traffic, with all those vendors the morning of. So I'll coordinate with you, I just wanted to mention it. That we'll be doing a lot of stuff on the 3rd instead, so. So start kind of thinking about what you wanna have on display. What all should be there, that might be a good work session topic. For next week, just to make a short list of what you wanna have on display for the 4th. And then think about getting it packed up so that it's easy to grab and go and bring over on the 3rd. And I can absolutely come just pick it up myself if you box it up. That way you don't have, none of you would have to worry about
Oh, we can
delivering
use
it to the park.
The storage bins you got
Mm,
with the packing materials and Susan and I
Right.
just reuse them.
And I did order a new historic commission banner, because I think last year we couldn't find it, and all we had was the big feather flag. Feather flag's cool, but I did order a new banner to go across the front of the, pop-up tent.
So in other words, it never got found.
Correct.
Now that she's ordered it.
Yeah, now it will.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of the main,
It could actually be stuck in the box to the logo.
you would have to decide if you want the feather flag though, and if so, like, put that on the list so I know what to pick up.
I think the feather flag would be good, because it's different dimensions, so to speak.
Then I think we should have something on hand on how to hang that banner, because usually it's like, we don't have anything.
We'll hang it way before you.
Oh, okay.
We'll hang it the day before.
Okay, well, that takes care of that.
Not to worry.
No bungee cords, no duct tape, no nothing.
Zip ties.
Only zip ties.
Failing one.
All right, any other kind of details with that?
I would just wanna share the screen, so it's on, the sticker, we'll call it Larry's sticker.
Yay.
That looks really nice.
Oh, cool.
That's really pretty.
And
See how many we can put on its back on the fourth.
Yeah.
Now, we'll need to make sure we keep a couple of those at least.
You have something new to put on your water bottles, everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so great idea, Larry, thanks for that. Please do come through.
I keep telling them they're more than just another pretty face.
That's right. Not another fuzzy face.
Thank you again, I'm excited to get my hands on a couple of those too.
Oh, out of the 5,000.
Oh, good. I know.
Are they sticker on the back? Is they sticker?
Yeah, and they should actually be here next week already.
Oh, very good.
So back to the event, do we need to talk about which of us need to be there or want to be there or?
Yeah, need a staffing plan.
Yeah.
All of that, so, again, me trying to take pressure, if you can plan ahead for what's gonna be displayed and just all of that, I can arrange to pick all that up so that all you have to do on that Saturday is show up. And I think it starts at 9 AM, but I think you're getting there at 8:30, 8:15, 8:30 to just set up the booth would be good.
Yeah.
So yeah, staffing is then now up to you, so I open it back up.
Yeah. Well, I know unfortunately I will be out of town on the 4th, so I will not be there. But who else is gonna be
I'm
around?
on a plane coming home that morning, so I'm out.
You're out?
I'm out, Dalton's out.
Okay, who's in? We'll start there.
Well, Larry, the sticker giver hour,
Yeah.
sure.
Larry's
Yeah,
busy.
Larry's a stickler, all right.
Okay.
Larry, I'll ask Nancy.
Larry, I got Larry down. Anybody else?
Lydia will also be joining
Susan?
us
I
too.
can be there.
Good.
How long does?
We're gonna be there.
Last?
I'll be there some of the time, I won't be there all the time. I'll be down in another booth down there at the fence.
Oh, yeah,
I'll hike down the hill for it again.
Well, and Karen will be there, huh?
yeah.
And Scott, very good.
So Scott, Susan?
Yeah.
Susan,
Maureen?
Karen,
Probably not, huh?
We can ask Mary if she'll be there.
Yeah, let's check.
She might.
I'll put her for a question. Larry, Susan, Wally, Karen, Scott, and probably Mary.
and Lydia. So Lydia's gonna bounce between the truck, historic tent and Mike.
That might hurt.
And then we're gonna, well, like I said, we should have 1 or 2 additional volunteers, so staff, JG and Lydia, and then hopefully 2 volunteers. And specifically, at least 1 volunteer for the truck.
Oh.
Cause I did explain to Michaela that we needed somebody at the back of the truck to prevent people from jumping into the back. And then we had a historic commission member I think it was mostly Dalton last year who was kind of helping explain and talk to people. And you helped get photos, but every time you backed up to take photos, little kids were scrambling in. So one of the volunteers might help just with taking photos,
Yeah.
because people really seem to like that.
Mhm.
Oh, and I think I inventoried the fire hats. And I
Okay,
think we have enough, I think I have a bunch in the,
okay.
in my storage, so if I don't, I'll hurry and order
Do
more,
we
but I
have some in
think
the
we have.
basement?
I think we have a box or a partial box.
I think
There is
so.
something in there, I don't know how full it is.
Yeah.
But there is.
Okay, maybe collectively we can check
Mhm.
on the numbers, and I can always order more, it doesn't hurt to have too many. Okay,
Another thing that people in there need to sort of keep a little bit of an eye on kids. It's all right for them to be in it, but a lot of times they get to playing with stuff in there and jerking on different things, and it's pretty easy for them to mess some of that stuff up.
Yeah, especially the turn signal.
Signals and, oh, yeah, there's other stuff in there too.
I can help you with that stuff.
Okay.
Thank you.
so well, I guess that's the big decision, do you want people in the truck this year?
We didn't do it last year?
I can't remember, did we?
We did.
Did we?
Yeah, we did last year.
It's pretty darn cool of an opportunity. It's not,
We
It is,
had-
but
if we can get someone to monitor it.
Last year, the thing was we just had the one door entrance.
Yeah.
And so they
So
weren't
one
coming
get in,
in
one
and
get
out, yeah, and I think that
And I
helped,
think that's a good idea.
yeah,
How long they're in there, some of them wanna stay for a long time when there's a line.
yeah.
and you put the wood block under the gas pedal too, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right.
Is that your wood block?
We don't have tire blocks for that.
Blockhead?
Yeah,
I mean,
blockhead, you said?
See if it's, we'll check and see if it's still in the cab, if not, I've got another one probably.
And cut scotch.
we really should have tire blocks, at least two of them for that vehicle. I don't know if we do already, but we should just need them in that vehicle.
It'll be, it's not going anywhere, but it'll be good safety.
Well, I do worry that at some point, that I don't remember having a good emergency brake in there, that some kid's going to just pull the gear shift into neutral or something, and it'll just like jump forward.
Oh, God.
My head starter button or something. It's good.
I really don't want that fire truck splattered with pancake mix.
You have pancakes this year? They're gonna be thawed out this year.
That was 2 years ago. They were good, right? I think 2 years ago they were, was it last year or the year before that they were cold?
I think it was the year before.
That doesn't matter.
Um,
They make good frisbees too.
Oh, Maureen.
or-
Well, on the subject of the fire truck, I was wondering if we had ever created paper models of them. Have you ever seen those gratuities where you hand out the paper model and the child can put it together if he follows directions?
Honestly, that would be
Have you
cooler
ever?
than hats.
Probably not this year, but that's a good idea
Yeah,
for
I
next
mean,
year.
the hats are competing with the
Real fire.
real fire trucks. Sometimes their hats are cooler than ours. So the hats actually didn't go out that quickly last year, but I agree, having something like a
Paper model.
of the paper model, yeah, and maybe get ones that are actually pre-cut for that purpose.
Wow.
Be a lot pricier than hats.
Yeah, we
It's
can do that.
a die cut, brick job.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
I think that would be a good conversation for next
That's
year.
what I wanted, but it's neat if the kids like the fire truck and they could put the paper model together. When I was with Ball Aerospace, we did something similar to promote one of our missions. And it was a big hit with the teachers in the school and the kids to put the model together, but you print it out with instructions folding.
I don't know anything about that, that's all.
I thought it might work for the
Restaurants have them, like, they have like old, Cadillacs and stuff, and they pre-assemble them, but then they'll serve like, kids meal in them, like in the back and front seat. They're real, they're, you know, they're just paper, it's like Well, it's almost like a paper doll, but it's a car or it's a something. They're neat.
Sounds good.
Yeah, instructions like HUD tab B and slot.
I love those.
Yeah, I'll look at it.
You have to order 501.
Yeah.
Probably.
I'll look at it.
Oh, she
Obviously,
get
we don't have time this year,
5,000 more.
but next year I think that would be a fun, or, we could even have them maybe for the second grade tours in the fall for that and then use them for. So just tell her I'll look into it, but we won't make it for this sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, you people are handing the fire truck hats out now. If you wanna create a little excitement, walk up to the big truck and ask them if they'd like a fire hat. They're pretty easy, but we won't repeat some of the stuff.
Get you in a hammerlock after that.
Yeah. They just say, oh crap, here he comes.
Well, it's got in trouble again.
Yeah.
Are we finished on this?
I think so.
May I back up a second? I forgot under the debriefing that one of the solutions or something that helped the attendants that asked it would be to get the fire truck out again. But I think it would be
I think
logistically with personnel,
we need a driver on a Saturday.
yeah, that's me, fine.
That's Larry.
But also generally need 2 people and then, we're putting our crew of most everybody does just 2 or maybe 4 hours, 2 hours of time. So, we won't have a lot of I think we don't have a lot of flexibility on personnel, but I think that's liven things up there. It always attracts attention.
Well, I think at a minimum, when we start the rotating exhibits, the fire truck should be part of that,
Oh, that's great.
at a minimum.
Yeah, and then that'd be warm weather months, so,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Because
And
I'll bring
I mean,
it
heck, if August looks hot or whenever it is, we can do in lieu of the cemetery opening this month, we'll be displaying the fire truck.
It could be hot this year.
Yeah, January could be hot.
Now, one of
Next year.
the things we should think about doing, if you're gonna have it down at the museum, you always like the hood opened up so they can look in there. We need to have a different method of holding that thing up than that little stick we have. I don't know what it would be, but it's pretty easy for that to slip out of there and that hood to slam shut. That's not good.
Righto.
All right, all good there. I think then we can move on to the Wall of Fame and Superior Milestone Project for the museum, including the home rule documentation.
That's Maureen.
Yes, that's right. The Wall of Fame concept is to have photos of major milestones. Now we have all the mining year pictures here at the community center, but I'm thinking of photos for the Marshall Fire or for the Round Table Award we won and when Home Rule passed 2 years ago. So you'd have photos and certificates. The question is where to locate it, but mostly post-mining.
I thought that's what we were going to expand on the Biden letters and that we have, with the fire collection.
Where would we put those? Cause
We have more wall
running out of
space. We have more wall space in that room. We can look around for space and we can readjust how things are. if we need to.
Yeah, so we were mapping out some ideas for where the current things are of using shorter tables, putting the screens up, collaging some of the Biden letters, Willie's picture, some of that. But we've earmarked out of the collection 5 items to go on the wall where the radio is from the collection. So, so my question is, where's that wall space? Cause I think
We could always,
I mean, I would say Civic Center or here over museum.
we could always choice if we wanted in the museum, we could have it as a digital wall of fame, where you could have like a tab where you just click in and then scroll through, and that could have like maybe a pop-up to like
Yeah.
1896, 1945, yeah, and then the photo with that could be an option.
I think actually, once you see the, moments that made us, History Colorado 250 exhibit, it does have exactly what, kind of almost exactly what you just said, where it has a year and a big overarching topic. So we could actually follow the model a little bit and kind of recreate it for the screen at the museum. I think that's a great idea because, you know, again, we're kind of tight on wall space at both spaces and town hall and even the museum. So I think utilizing the screens as much as possible would be great.
Is Maureen thinking about a permanent, wall of fame?
Well, she's not objecting to the digital concept.
Yeah.
I mean, she knows there's wall space issues. And it does seem like it's more of a museum. It ought to be there as opposed to.
Yeah.
See, and I liked it here because it's a draw to get you to the museum. It's a promotion.
Yeah.
It's almost like a billboard, right?
Yeah.
That's and you know, the moments that made us and learn more about that and come to these sites.
Extra screen.
And yeah, or some, I don't know. I mean, I'm not opposed, I like the digital you have there too, but I guess it's.
I think both could be an option.
Yeah.
You know, people are not comfortable with accessing things with QR codes and things like that too.
I wasn't even thinking QR code, I was thinking like this wall is beautiful, right? We've got 3 pictures, you make that 5 with these displays, and at the end you say, you know, and learn more about it at our museums, they're open here, they can be found on the website. You put a QR code, but you can put the information there.
But if it's digital, how would people access?
Well,
digital
on
will
the
be at the
screen when it
screen.
runs at when the museum's
Yeah.
open.
Well, yeah, I think we'll have our like looping flyer display, but since we always have people there, we could use that touch screen for those activities too, and even work on expanding programming, like having the old town photos and things for those purposes. And keep the loop for,
Yeah, you choose your loops.
Yeah, it could easily be like, we had a very robust Marshall Fire loop that has a lot of detail with it, including the video of Marshall Fire, and then we have kind of like a drop down menu, and one of the tabs could be like Wall of Fame, you click that, and then it goes into the loop of all these historic moments.
if we're actually going to use the touch screen, we're going to have to invest in some actual touch screen cleaner so we don't lose.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, there is a remote too, so you can also, we could decide if we wanted to.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
have people not touch the screen.
Yeah, especially if the screen's here and Joe Schmo is here.
Which is better.
Yeah, and stretching and.
Yep, so we can do that too, yeah. Okay.
JD, could the Hall of Fame go on the town website? On the historical page? Because that would be a great promotion, again, billboard kind of idea, trying
Create
to
a whole
direct,
section for it.
to direct people to all the things, their presentations, museums, but.
Maybe once we get it all,
I can start working on kind of a digital version of it.
Yeah.
See.
and then we can convert that over, just pop it over.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
More good ideas.
There's always more things to
I
do.
didn't even think of that.
For the sake of time, we should probably.
So next, moving on to collections, acceptance and cataloging processes. I think we kind of touched a little bit on this.
Yeah. So last year, when we started all this, Mary's like, it would be really helpful to have this written down. And we've now done enough to write it down. And it's basically 10 steps, right? We get an inquiry about a donation. And we did it live with the scale and it worked. So this is what we followed with that. We reviewed it for relevancy, right? do we want it? If not, we thank the donor, communicate it, move on. If we do, right, we go through the steps of completing the form, attaching it with any supplemental information. Something we have added is dusting and wiping off an artifact when we get it. It's not a cleaning, it's not a, but what we're finding is we go to pick something up and there's so much buildup of grime that it's gotten onto other things. And we want to prevent that. So it's more just anything transferable. Take a photograph of that in the form and then email it. And Larry is our test case. It's all good, right? And then that goes into the storage bins. We've got preservation quality storage bins for a minimum of 7 days. Because if there is anything growing, it contains it. And it, again, same with the grime, it prevents the spread. Then that's where Karen, you'd pick it up and do your thing like you always do. But instead of being on the table, it would be in a bin. In the basement.
Yeah, and by the way, here's a copy of the last one that
Okay.
came in.
Got it.
I was gonna send it to you, but
Okay, no worries.
something wasn't working quite right. So, Susan, you both want one or just you?
We're good. Yeah, we're good.
Okay, and you get one.
But then if it's fabric, it needs to go in a
Larry, you
freezer.
want one or you don't care?
Thank you.
Yeah, so if it's fabric, it does need to go in a freezer
The donation.
for 7 days.
Oh, wow.
And we're gonna cross those bridges as we get to it, because depending on the size, you know, it can be as simple as loosely wrapping it in a large Ziploc and putting it in one of our home freezers. You know, not, obviously nothing stacking on it, as long as it's sealed. If it's large, History Colorado will rent theirs for a fee depending on your size. So I don't know if it's $1 or $500. We cross that bridge when we come to it. And then, it's recorded in the donation log, it's recorded on catalog it, and it's either prepared for storage or display, and then we close the loop with a thank you note for the donor. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
There it is,
Yeah.
in all its glory.
There in all its glory.
She had a question.
Yeah.
Wow,
Okay,
nice.
okay.
I had a question about the donation form, Jill. I looked it over and I didn't see an entry for valuation of the donation.
And
Do
we
ever have
no.
anybody assess it?
No,
for
we,
that?
we do not assess value. And we asked the same question with the History Colorado affiliate, and they also do not assess value because you're dealing with people's tax records.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they
you-
established the value when they.
you establish the value it has to you and they put it on there. At the time, if there was damage in an insurance claim, we would then show the value at the time of that claim, not because if you
Just
have
so
something
like
20
when
years
you
later.
say the format came from, is this a format any museums use?
It has the same content, yes, because Larry and I reviewed that
Oh,
after.
which museum originated it?
It's the one
Is
we,
it like the
Let- let-
Association
yeah.
of Northern Pennsylvania
No,
Museum?
no. It is a form, I think, Larry, we created, because it was there when I started. But the content on it matches the standard, and I can look up the standards on our website. You can pull the information or on our shared doc that we took from History Colorado. So we reviewed it for, is this okay? Did we hit all of their critical points? And the reference of the museum standards is referenced there. I don't remember the name of it. So yes, we're covered. No, I don't remember. For that. Because I had a question on IP rights ownership and histories that we dug into.
On,
You and I did,
Yeah.
yeah, and it was on the back of our form. So, and if we ever had something like that, you know, normally Susan and I record the front of the form. If we had that, then we just have to cover the back too. But we've had very little so far with that content.
yeah, we just,
I think it, yeah.
Yeah, good question. Like I said, I asked the same similar ones, so we do not do value, so. Yep,
Okay,
that's pretty much SOP
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jill, I have a question.
Yeah.
Did you assign any numbers that I don't know about?
No.
Well,
No.
there's a thing, there was a bucket sitting on the floor
Mhm.
of SD when I was there on Saturday, and I just happened to pick it up because I wanted to
Yes.
know who gave that to us.
So
And it had a number that I had never heard of.
there are things that we have found in the collection. They don't exist on any lists, any forms or anything.
Okay,
So we try to narrow down when we think we got it for the year. And we give it a number like 999.
yeah, right, that was,
Yep.
with 996.
Yes, so we.
Wow, did we get that
For
much?
that, no, for that period though, we started at 999,
Oh,
998.
okay.
But we didn't want to interfere your sequence. It also triggers to us, because it's this 900
Yeah.
number, that it was
But I
something
could still
found.
add it to the inventory.
We already did, it's already done.
You don't want that?
So
on
you're
there?
kind of saying that 900 numbers are considered
Found
found
in
objects.
collection, yes,
Right. you're
right. So,
Okay.
and it's in catalog it, so, again, if you want to add it, but because it wasn't a donation, it was found, it doesn't need to be in the
It's like
donation
other-
law.
But I could indicate that
If you want
under
to,
the donor
yeah.
name and. I'd
We
like
don't have
to
a
add
donor
it
name.
So that
we don't have
on there.
it, we don't have anything except that
I
it
could
was
just
found.
insert it at the bottom of.
Yeah, if you,
2020.
if you want to, feel free, yeah.
Okay,
We've got it and catalog it, because what's happening is, as we're going through the basement, we're finding objects that don't exist.
okay, I'll talk to you
Yeah.
about that on the side.
Okay, yeah, but no, I can give you a full of them from catalog it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you wanna do that. Not required, nice to have, but we weren't worried about it because it's not a donation.
Right,
So
right.
it's sixes, because we do
For
have,
inventory,
well, it's inventoried on catalog,
yeah,
so.
okay.
Alright.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. JG, I will laminate that. Put it on the wall.
Frame it.
That's going on the wall.
Perfect.
Alright.
Good
All
job
right,
on the process.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think next is the walking tour, scroll and QR code signage project. I know Maureen and I have exchanged a couple of emails about this, just kind of looking at, are we going to be keeping, because she has kind of created a walking path, or we're going to utilize some of those QR code signage at some of these markers moving forward. But I think some of that is also related to wanting to get the lines of the signs in first to see kind of the general process with that. And then once that's kind of ironed out, then we can identify the exact spots where these QR code signs can go.
Perfect plan.
Has that walking tour, map from Maureen been provided to all of us yet, or is it just?
I don't think so. I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
I think if we could request that she share that with us at the next meeting, because it keeps coming up on the agenda, but no one has seen anything.
or if I have, I just don't remember.
No.
Connect the dots,
Yeah,
refresh.
But I would like to start working with that draft and start working on it, because if we use it, we can get it used
Yeah, absolutely.
by others.
let's see if she has a comment.
A council? Comment on, war. Oh, that's scroll and stroll, that's what I was talking about, all where we need maps for the walk.
Okay.
Yeah,
She does,
scroll and stroll is already there with all the historic sites listed. All we need to do is pull the graphics together, but for the preservation plan, we basically have a good product. If you think of the QR code as a vehicle to transport a communication product, then we have the product in the scroll and stroll to transport through the QR code. I just need to work in good graphics that's for adults and needs.
Okay.
help.
Yeah, so
Okay, so there isn't a map, we just
there
have
isn't
to.
a map,
Okay.
but she's counting on you.
Okay. Well, that's good to know, cause I was like, oh, this is the map, okay.
I'm still not clear if Scroll and Stroll is that an app, and are there already things marked in that app? Is that what we're talking about?
This is like a running just document,
Okay,
yeah,
got it, never mind.
And then hopefully these signs, right?
yeah, would map
Got it.
with that and be installed there. But I thought a map had been created, so, okay, so I can kind of work on kind of creating a map with this from the document.
And
Okay,
maybe the three of
I
us
gotta
could work
figure it out.
together, you, Maureen, and myself. Cause I think that might help move it along.
yeah, okay,
I get it now.
yeah, okay,
Okay,
perfect.
all right.
Okay. So the next item then is, got it, the fall program planning and the honorarium fee. There's gonna be a vote. So Larry, any sort of additional updates here?
Yeah, so, our presenter is Gail Beaton, and we've established the date of October 14th. And, her honorarium is $150. So, I guess have a motion and see if there's any discussion of the details.
What's her topic again?
Rosie the Riveter.
Okay.
On Rosie the Riveter, yeah. So I'll move that we, finance the $150 honorarium for our speaker in October.
I'll second.
Okay.
All those in,
Well, any discussion?
yeah, any discussion?
Oh, is it definitely for Rosie? I think
Yes.
it should be Martha.
She's part of that Colorado Chautauqua, which charges more than $150. I think she's kind of freelancing on this stuff.
Yeah.
Give people.
How do you spell her name?
Gail.
I'll help you.
Beaton.
Okay.
And, JG got the room reserved, and I guess the community center will be okay then, huh?
No, it's a civic space.
Civic space.
Oh, that's right, in the civic space, yeah.
And she sent me promo photos already, because I have Hello Superior deadlines and all that, so Ed Rec Guide deadlines, so I've already written a description with her and have promo photos, so, yeah, so we're good to go.
Do we do both?
Yep, so, yeah, all those in favor, of the $150, fee for
Was
Rose
it
the Riveter?
150 or 100?
150.
150, okay.
For Rose the Riveter, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, vote passes unanimously.
Great.
This should be really interesting, I'm excited for this.
Yeah.
All right, we'll miss you.
We'll get you the link to the recording.
I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it. Yeah.
And the next item then is the 501c3 pursuit and organization, which has a little bit of an overlap with the Marshall Fire Remembrance. We've kind of touched on this, but any other kind of specific additional details here?
I guess I have one idea I had is because Community Foundation or Colorado Gives will really kind of be a short-term plan for raising money for Marshall Fire Remembrance. But what's really needed is kind of a long-term. And I don't know if Superior Rising would be able to serve in that capacity until something more permanent or larger or something more established becomes, if the foundation is formed. But right now, I mean, it seems like that could be a place. If we got any requests, or offers of larger donations. I just don't know. Heather, what do you think? I know this has been
I
on
think
your mind a
It
lot.
has, I just think we need to have something,
Yeah,
because it's not even the opportunity, it's the fact that it's a QR code sitting on the edge by the door when you leave, donations gladly, appreciated to continue our efforts to build this historic, foundation that has already been existing, but something, and I don't know,
And I do know at least in conversations about superiorizing with the Marshall Fire Remembrance, one of their concerns was they're keenly aware of kind of the overall budgetary costs associated with Marshall Fire, and that just might be too high for them. And a bit intense for what they're kind of capable of, but I think when it comes to our organization, what we're kind of looking at or probably expecting as far as donations go, it'd be probably a bit more manageable.
I mean, if they're willing, then it's a legal question.
Mhm.
Does the town feel comfortable with the situation, and is there a memorandum of understanding, or what is it?
And maybe still keep pursuing the concept of the development of a foundation or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But in the interim, maybe there could be an agreement with Superior Rising.
How do we pursue that then? How do we, what action do we
Yeah,
take?
would we
That's the
have-
hard part, is staff and council can't really
Yeah.
spearhead the development of a
I mean, could we
foundation.
have like,
Well, and we're part of town, aren't we, as commission?
well, I was gonna say,
What
we
line are
have
we
like
crossing?
a
as
subcommittee
commission
where like 2 members meet with Superior Rising specifically to discuss this? Would that be maybe the best option?
Well, I mean, we could have a quick conversation just with John Heckman about
Yeah.
kind of that temporary use, but I think actually we had that conversation about getting in contact with Louisville,
So, and I
Lafayette,
started that.
because they do
Yeah.
they have foundations.
Mhm.
I mean, and it could be maybe just tapping into them as a resource to see how and who created theirs.
So off on a tangent, I did reach out to them all this week. I've only heard back from Broomfield so far. My intent is, even if I don't hear back, I'm gonna send a note that says, hey, on the 4th of July, we're doing blah, 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 and here's a recap of our meetings, in case you're interested of things. And we have 2 items for deaccessioning if you
Yeah,
have first priority, so I'm gonna send like 3 things of substance. And then see if I get answers.
yeah.
But I was just gonna start talking to them now that I've sent the intro note.
But I mean, I could even
Yeah.
reach out to
But if you wanna send it, I can,
Louisville's museum and their foundation, because I know they're getting SCFD money and all these things
Yeah.
through their foundation is applying for funding, but they also intake.
so why don't you give me a blurb and I'll put it in with those items and.
Yeah.
Because I'd love to get it where they're talking to all of us, like all for the Boulder County.
Yeah.
And if we don't hear, then we go direct to the foundation people.
No, we don't.
Yeah. So,
But either way, kind of having those conversations, like,
So I think you're.
cause I'd love to get them chatting up on email and say, hey, come to our meeting and stay for lunch afterwards, type of thing, and get them talking, but we're not there yet,
yeah, okay.
so.
What do you think about that?
I think that works, yeah.
Great place to start.
Yeah.
Start?
And
Yeah.
again, I'm just trying to show some substance that this isn't just another email in your box, so.
Yeah.
It would help that.
And again, off topic, but maybe there could be kind of a meet and greet
Yeah, I need to
foray
get,
between all the towns. Maybe it's a small event where we get everybody together just to meet each other and
when
maybe,
PJ's reopens as a coffee shop later. in the month.
Yes,
but you know what I mean? And that might help.
Yeah. The
Bring
Brookfield guy
everybody
was really
together.
enthusiastic when he answered, so,
Oh, good.
yeah.
Okay,
thank you.
great.
So I'm just waiting on Lafayette, Louisville and Boulder. And again, if I don't hear it, I'm still gonna send,
Yeah.
actions speak louder than words,
Mhm.
so. Hopefully.
Okay.
So yeah, let's add that to it, and I don't have a firm deadline, I was gonna do something, in a couple weeks, so I'm not bugging them.
Okay.
Endlessly, so.
Okay. All right, just kind of in the interest of time too, probably would move on to upcoming events. So the June 19th work session from 10 a.m. to 12. And that'll be here, yeah. I know I'll actually be able to attend because I have work out that day. And who all else is gonna be there? Because I know we have a lot of different items to discuss with that specifically. Okay.
Got an agenda?
Well, my item is purely to come up with questions and frame answers for the forum
Yeah.
at Anne Fram in August on, commercial fire.
Got it.
So,
I'll
and
be
then,
here then.
Lydia, I talked to about it, and she's willing to be on the panel. Was it Lydia on the town staff?
She was our liaison.
Our liaison at the time, yeah. From what she learned
Oh, okay.
as town staff in that immediate, 6 months, right after.
On what panel?
The Marshall Fire panel for Anne Frank.
Oh, okay.
And then I've got to reach out to Clint now that we're confirmed, but Leslie told me a bunk out of it, Clint would do. So I'm optimistic we'll get Clint on that.
You might also, I mean, Lydia did help kind of in the immediate with the museum, but it was really a lot of admin on the back end.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if, Allison James, our disaster preparedness person might be really good. I'm not saying, I'm not dissing
No.
Lydia, but I just up it maybe a
I
level.
I think with the people who attend Anne Frank, that might be too advanced.
But Allison kind of worked on the FEMA side for part of the museum recovery.
Okay.
We can talk.
Yeah, are you coming to the work session? Can you come by? Can you come by?
Okay.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Can you stay 5 minutes
I'm
after
gonna be
this?
home.
Can you stay 5 minutes after this?
Yeah,
Okay,
I do have a meeting with
Yeah, so-
Colorado Gives today, so,
so, yeah,
okay.
All right, July 4th, town event, I think we basically kind of covered everything here unless any other additional details. All right, and just a note, July 4th, museums will be closed. And now on to staff updates.
Okay, so we are still working, on, pecking away at the grant, status. The biggest thing that we're working on right now is we just researched so many different companies on who could come in and provide an assessment. Basically going in and looking at kind of just everything we kind of looked at, but really looking at the bones and the structures and just everything. And so, we had one group come out and they gave us a short report and kind of their assessment of what needs to be done and how much it could potentially cost, and it was very high. And then Deep Roots is gonna be coming out within the next week or two and doing their assessment. So with those assessments, it gives us a ballpark of what we're asking for in the grant. And that's kind of where we are right now. So things are moving along, with that, but it's a long process. And also in the budget request for 2027, I made sure to also earmark, matching, or, that percentage of matching funds if you do receive a grant. So I'd want to absolutely make sure that that's on council's mind that,
12,500.
yeah, it's like, it could be a chunk of change. The other thing we might do if it's looking like there's a lot more work and a lot more costs than we can even fathom in one grant application or even a matching fund situation or whatever, it could be that we divvy it out and apply multiple years. So we'll get to that. Lion signage installs, definitely looking at this coming week. I bought the concrete and the pavements and all the tools and the stuff and then I'll be getting with somebody from Parks, so I'll make sure to get with Eugene.
Tell me when.
If they catch me off guard and walk in and say, let's go right now, that might be my only situation where I can't get with you, but I would make sure to take a lot of pictures.
Thank you.
So we're good to go on that. Update to ask the interpretive sign, Larry's been getting on, we just need to do it, and he brings it up every now and then it slips away into the wind. But the interpretive sign at ASTI is obviously outdated because it's pre-fire information. So back on my list, thank you, Larry. I need to get with comms and see if we have the original design so that we can go in and get it updated. But I'll work with Larry to get any other new and or different information on there. If we're looking at a major or a minor update, that kind of thing. So I'll definitely be getting with you, Mr. Dorsey. And then just the last reminder again, August through November with the community center closure, that we'll be meeting at town hall. Okay. Do you have any questions for me?
Is the video from spring program available?
It's on the list. Found it the other day, I was looking at
Yeah.
It's on the-
Look at me, I had to
the
follow.
town of Superior
Okay, thank you.
Historic Corner. What's
I will
that?
send that to you right
Thank
now.
you. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, I needed to recall something. I found it.
Okay.
So,
Did you tell Gail Beaton is at the Civic Center?
Yeah, I did,
Great.
but I can make sure to,
Yeah. Just-
we got lots of time on that though. Okay.
Well,
so on other,
yeah,
because I was taking notes on my phone this time. We had something come in through our form site. Community member saw the thing on the embers that we ultimately decided weren't safe and relevant to keep. But she has a post she would like to donate.
Hey, what?
A post, they fence post that burned in the fire. I think after, remember we found the sign in the storage unit and decided that we don't know what's in that sign chemical wise, right? Safe to handle, and we're like, it's here, it's in a contained spot, at some point we have to figure out how to dispose of that. We found that what we thought was going to be something and ultimately was disintegrating. I think unfortunately we need to just say no.
I agree.
Unless it's pretty special, I think the stuff we have is enough.
Is enough. I don't know how we would display it
Yeah.
safely.
Well, that, yeah.
To be honest, when you think about how much stuff people had to clear away from their own properties, it's like,
To get this.
this post might mean a lot to you, but that doesn't to everybody.
Well, and again, how would we display it safely?
Exactly. Yeah,
Right.
I-
Post collection.
I don't need someone touching ashes and breathing them in and.
Well, and like the display case is that option, but we have already got those objects.
And
in
how do we do them? Yeah, with the other additions, right? To
And
make
those,
it,
yeah, like you said, those things have more significance,
yeah,
things that were found in there would be.
I can respond to her then, since I thought and brought it up, but we just did our process, that's what we did.
Leslie also approached me and probably people in Grassley about a grandfather clock she'd like to donate. But it's, sounds like a little bit, oh, I didn't send out any information on this to you, did I? Okay, I can do that. It's a grandfather clock, looks like her grandfather or father made it from scratch, and I told her that generally something like that would probably not be found in a coal miner's cabin and that sort of thing, so,
And if it's not.
Elsie,
local,
Leslie,
yes.
Okay.
Elsie,
Elsie.
Wow, that must be the end talk, huh?
well, yeah, Jill and I had crazy
She put me on a challenge.
activity. I call Leslie Clark LC sometimes,
Okay.
and then Jill and I got into
It's
this,
like, what's an LC?
she asked what an LC was, and I was like, low calorie, and then she kept
Low
like.
cost.
So then we, like, for a good hour, we kept going back and forth with all these things that start with LC. So it's an inside joke
Yeah.
rule,
Got it.
yeah.
But now Elsie is like LELSIE, Elsie, from a name.
That's Leslie's new name,
Yeah.
Elsie.
So what did you tell her?
I gave her a warning that it probably wouldn't be
Since we're on other, speaking of clocks.
Yeah.
The clock that's in the basement at Asti, Susan and Mary and I kind of explored, you might have been.
I was,
Yeah. And all the parts are in there when we open the door. So I'm going to put a budget request in for some time, if we can't do it this year, to table it for 2027 budget. to take it in and have it assembled so it works. And then we wanna put that on the wall above the radio. And in moving things to start the next wave of cataloging, we found 4 other pictures, including one from Rosie, to do a display on that wall. Along the lines where we got a lot up on the pegboard, so a similar, how do we get 5 to 7 things and fill that space? That, well, this wouldn't have been a common item, people when they immigrated might have saved a family thing as an heirloom. And kind of keep it to that vein. So to be able to put some of these things out. With that, so that's what we're starting to model together.
So going back to the clock, are you gonna reply, or do you feel like you already closed?
No,
that up?
I feel like I just warned her that I'd be a high demand item, so I thought I'd better
Do we have a
send it out to everybody
picture?
first. Huh?
Do we have a picture?
Yeah,
Because
sure.
if he made it
She's,
and it's more period appropriate that it might have been,
it has a
Can you
cuckoo works,
Yeah.
but it's a cuckoo clock sitting in.
but do we swap that to ASTI and the higher end one that we fixed to grass?
Cool.
Why don't we have Larry send the photo
Photo.
out, and then, you can give Larry your feedback, just don't reply all. Just
Okay.
reply just to Larry, and then Larry, that'll give Larry the info he needs.
Sometimes those are so big though, like a grandfather clock is really
Yeah.
big.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's just it, is it?
Yeah, who knows how many pounds.
You are correct.
Mhm.
I was in Paonia last week and went to the, 2 museums that the North Fork Historical Society has, and, one of the ideas I got is that it'd be where we have under where the drums mat is gonna be, if we had a low table, not a folding table, but a low library table type table, or maybe even a coffee table, it's antique actually, something that's 100 years old or something, it'd be maybe a better way to describe it. Under
Yeah.
that.
So we actually, Susan and I were brainstorming on this,
Mhm.
and almost if you could do a table that has a glass top and you display within
Oh.
with a pull-out shelf,
Mhm.
lower shelf that pulled out of some sort.
So let's hit some antique stores,
Or, I mean, you can buy them online too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I had another idea too, but that's, we all need to be standing there. We
You
can
wanna
adjourn.
share the ribbon cutting thing? I know you have a ribbon cutting.
Oh,
thing
yes,
too, But there's on Sundays?
yep, on Sunday, Central Park, right near the cemetery, is going to be having its grand opening, so there's gonna be a ribbon cutting there. And I'm gonna swing by, and Lydia kind of mentioned this when Scott and I were up there at the cemetery, so I'll open the cemetery, for admittance when the ceremony is going on Sunday. And
Well, what time is it?
1 to 3.
1, yeah.
But if you guys don't have anything to do right now, you can go over to the boot barn, because we're doing a ribbon cutting between 12 and 2. 12:30 is the ribbon cutting, but they are officially open.
Great
so.
to see all that filling up.
What's the
Yeah.
name of the place?
Boot
Boot
barn,
barn.
come get your cowboy hat
Oh.
that you can wear when you're standing outside and it'll come out shape.
You'll make it a black hat though, huh?
Never steals that, Larry.
Everybody super target.
I mean, you can get a big brim if it's different.
All right, Heather, happy ribbon cutting.
Yes, Thank you.
Yeah, urban cowboy days.
I move to adjourn.
Well, she has to go, but,
Second,
okay, oh, you are doing it, okay.
yep, motion from Scott, second from
Me.
Jill.
No
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Wall is gonna be disappointed, you guys.
I know.
I'm always.
The eyes, the ears, the eyes. I never got it right.
Good going, everybody.
Thank you.
Oh, I
All in
forgot.
favor, say aye, aye, there opposed, noes, and the motion.
It's back up, it's back up.
On Chip.
There's some puppy Wally.
Oh, well, that's a
No,
quote from Abraham, right?
It's on the historic,
Yeah.
the historic link on the town website.
Oh,